Greetings, fellow county fans, and any neutrals out there that are watching these blogs. Just when you think being a county fan can't get any more messed up, Saturday happens. I don't know, everything just seems to happen to us, First of all, I want to give a special mention. You got to give credit where it's due. I know I've had a lot of bad things to say about Rodney Parade, but their staff were exemplary on the weekend in helping our hospitality volunteer Barry. Obviously, we could see it from the Hazel Terrace. Something going on. You could tell someone was getting CPR, and it was god awful to watch. Obviously the football, you just didn't know where to look. We're watching the football, but we got to see if this guy's okay. Thankfully, he is. It's possibly the one good thing to come from the day is that Barry's okay now. Hopefully he'll be back at the county very soon. Yeah, Barry, if you're watching, well done, mate. Keep it up, mate. That sort of strength is exactly what the kind of example that the county need, the fans need. What we don't need though is people throwing shit at opposing managers. Is no matter what he does now. Right now, I'm not condoning anyone throwing anything at anyone at a football match. People should keep things to themselves. Violence, whether you're throwing something, whether you're throwing a punch or a sweet or a coin, there's no place for it in football. Especially not in the ground. I think we can't forget the fact that the way that Blackpool acted certainly incited the crowd. Like I say, I'm not making an excuse for them because there is no excuse. But for them to act the way they did, to incite the crowd the way they did, also needs to be looked at, in my opinion. Like I say, I hope whoever is responsible for throwing this stuff, I hope they get banned for life. You don't want that, because at the end of the day, it's going to affect our club. We're a fans-run club, so effectively it's our money that's being taken. We're raising the money for the club. I do 50-50, and already because of smoke bombs and this sort of thing happening, the money we've raised all season has been taken, from us. We've worked hard all season, to raise money for the club, and it's been taken because of incidents like this. And that's what people need to think about when, you're making these decisions, whether you bring a flare or a smoke bomb into the ground. Don't get me wrong, I disagree with the ruling against them. But then, those split-second decisions, do I throw this thing at this manager or not? You always got to think not, because you got to think of what's at stake, But we're facing relegation. The last thing we need is bad press and, reasons for our players to think about other things rather than what's going to happen on the field. So whoever's doing this crap, has got to stop. I hope I hope they don't get into the ground again. But on the serious side of it, though, if they do get in the ground again ever, keep whatever you got to yourself, or at least go and stand somewhere where you can't reach, anyone of worth, like that. That's going to bring that kind of attention to our football club. To be honest with you, you've got to look at like I said, the Blackpool staff, the players celebrating in front of us. You don't go and rub it into a team that's on the verge of relegation. I'm sorry, but that shows such a lack of class. It's one thing for fans to sing "You're going down" and all that, but when you got players coming up and celebrating in front of you, and managers turning around to the crowd and punching the air and screaming their faces off and laughing at you, it's just, it frustrated me. I shouted a few things at the guy, and their players. I shouted a few, really nasty things at them, but it's what happens, football's such a passionate game, you say things, but it's, you got to control what you do, though. That's the main thing. One of our lads, Mark, obviously he's aware of it. He's got a bit of a problem with his teeth at the moment. Hopefully, in years to come, that will all get sorted and all that for him, and he got no issue there. But when a manager turns around and starts going like that at him, he's a kid. He's 15 years old, and he's a kid. And you've got a fully grown professional man taking the piss out of a kid like that at football because of something that's out of his control. That's just as bad as taking the piss out of someone with a disability, really. Because anyone with a disability is something that's out of their control. They can't help it. Obviously his teeth isn't a disability, but it's still something that's going to hurt his feelings, and he's a kid. You know, that pissed people off as well. You know, and apparently one of the players did it as well, did the exact same thing. You know, it's not on personally. I can't see how that is going to be, you know, avoided, but our club is going to get the full brunt of it when the FA come clamping down, as always. And this is getting old, I know, but it has to be highlighted. The ref was shit again on Saturday, and all of a sudden there's all these support the ref programs. I mean, what timing is that? Support the ref. I mean, come off it. I mean, I wouldn't support the ref. I wouldn't support the ref if it meant he wouldn't fall off a freaking cliff. You know, I'd let him drop at the moment, the way I feel about referees, especially the League 2 referees. You know, I mean, what the hell are these people doing to our club, you know? I mean, it's bad enough that we've had bad performances all season, but when we're conceding penalties left, right and centre and red cards and crap free kicks and things like that, having our play broken up by shit, you know? It's disheartening for a player. I mean, how can you play when you know the man in black is against you? You know, I mean, I've played in games where I felt as though I'm getting the wrong end of the referee, and it does bring you down, you know? So I'm not excusing, you know, our players for the season that we've had because of the refs. I mean, we are where we are on merit, but you can arguably say we've lost 12 points this season off of poor refereeing. You know, it's as simple as that. It's just a tough one to take. You know, I mean, you know, we could go down, and the difference could be, you know, the refereeing, the standard of refereeing could be the difference between us staying up and going down. And for a club like ours, going down is so detrimental to us. You know, I mean, I just don't know how you got all this support the ref when they're so shit. You know, and it's all the way up to the Premier League as well. They make crap decisions. Thing is, you can't always blame them. You know, if they're bad, they're bad. But they don't get the support they need, which is why I always say video refereeing is needed. I mean, if they're going to fork out to do goal line technology, at least push it that little bit further and get the full lot, you know, and get someone up there watching. There are decisions that are going to be contestable, and if they're 50-50, you have to lean the rules to giving the benefit of the doubt either side. So, with a penalty, if it's a 50-50 penalty, I believe the benefit of the doubt should go to the defender. I believe if it's an offside and it's marginal, very, very marginal, as they say now, the benefit of the doubt should go to the attacker. You know, if a red card is debatable, if it's debatable, it's not a red card. It's got to be clean cut, you know, like a dangerous foot over the ball kind of tackle. If it's just something you look at it, oh, that's red, you know, and everyone will unanimously say that's red, you know, that's got to be a red card then. If someone says, oh, I'm not sure, that could be a yellow, there you go, yellow card, that's got to be a yellow card. You can't send a player off without any, you know, unreasonable doubt, you know. So, anyway, I'm going to go on, I'm going to end up making this about video refs and everything that should be done with the rules. I believe referees could, I think they definitely have played a big part in our season, as much as poor managers and poor decisions all round. But, I mean, we're learning from things, you know, we're fans-owned, we've stabilised things, we've stabilised the club, we got no fear of going out of business or anything like that, you know, we're pretty much debt-free. I know we're paying Graham Wesley off, but it's not as much as people think. So, yeah, there you go. Moving on to the Luton game, talking about closing the section where me and my lot stand. As much as people might think that these missiles were thrown by my lads, they were not thrown by my lads. They were thrown from behind us up in the seats. So there are a couple of people that have alleged that it came from right within our section. You've got to understand something as well, that no, everyone who stands in our section is not all us. We see different people there every week, and there are some people who cause a problem. Somebody spat at someone, you know, when they were stood with us, never seen them before. And, you know, there were a couple of whispers, or someone in the choir spat at, you know, I think it was when Alfreton were down. None of us done that, you know, none of us had done anything like that. I know someone threw a hot cup of tea over Yate Town when they were here, but, you know, to be honest with you, they deserved it. They were cheats, they were. But then, I mean, you got the missiles that get thrown, and it's happening quite regular, and it's like different people every time. Except this 13-year-old lad, one of my lads has recognised him as someone who's done it before. So hopefully now he'll get a full ban. I mean, he's a 13-year-old lad. He's got to learn from his mistakes. Word has it that he's special needs. I think you need to sort of take that with a bit of caution and say, all right, and he can come as long as he doesn't stand anywhere near the dugouts, and as long as he's got adult supervision. That's what we call making a compromise. But anyway, I'm just going to babble on about all sorts of stuff now. I've hit my 10-minute mark, which is where I usually try to hit. When I'm doing these. We got Luton Town tomorrow night. We certainly owe them one, and Jones is going to get a bit of a bad reception. I mean, Cameron McGeehan, as unsympathetic for his leg break as I wish he was playing, because I wanted to give him some shit as well, because he's a dick. You may have about Newport County, and you're not going to come to our ground, and be met with arms wide open. We're going to give you some stick for it, and Jones is in for it tomorrow if we can stand behind the away dugout. So there we go. I want you guys to get more interactive with this now. I want you to get down there, write in those comments, and ask me some questions, and I'll answer them. I will answer them. I think there's a question I'm still to answer. I'll be answering on behalf of the Amber Army, but obviously, as you see the disclaimer, whenever there's anything to do with these blogs, it's all my opinion, and I'm not speaking on behalf of the Amber Army supporters group. So, everything is from there. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. So ask me some questions. Get interactive with this. Or not. It would be great if more people got involved. People from other clubs. I share a lot of issues that are going on at my club. Share some issues that you got on going on with your club. Maybe it's something we've been through which we can offer you some advice with. You never know. But get asking some questions. I'm well up for answering some questions on the county at the moment, and anyone else as well. Before I keep rambling on, I'm going to call time on this one. So I'll see you all tomorrow night. By the time this is uploaded, it'll be tonight. So we'll see you at the Luton game, guys, and hopefully a much needed and overdue win against Luton as well. So not overdue win against Luton as such, but we owe them one, don't we really? So there we go. That's it. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching, and up the county. And sorry if I've seemed lethargic on this one. It's been a long season. It certainly wears you thin. Cheers all.